Peace, family. Hey, everybody. I'm going to let some people get in. Tried to be prompt as I could today. I am going live from my phone. We tried to pull it up on our big screen that we have, but for whatever reason, the CRM is running slow. So, we're just going to, I'm just going to let it do what it do. And, waiting for Rod to get in. I just spoke with him. He is ready to jump on. Hopefully I can see everybody that's coming on. Just come in and say hello, everyone. Invite you. Let's see. Hold on, Rod. I don't know why it's not adding you. There you go.
There I go.
All right, so I'm going to I'm going from my hello Leo 369. Hold on. I gotta post in the chat. Okay. I'm doing this from my phone and I don't like the fact that I'm doing this from my phone, y'all. So just bear with me. This is my first time doing it from my phone. But like I said, our CRM is running slow and my idea was to okay, so I'm putting the link down there if you guys want to hop on and ask Rod some questions. This is a Q&A. I just want to say, Rod, I am so glad and thankful that you have blessed Driyah Talk. Some of them already know, how close we are and, how much I love you because I share. I made TikToks of you, and I think before anybody else did, and I share them on here, and I've shared some of our conversations on here, so they'll get a chance to actually hear you up front and personal. If you haven't listened to Rod speak on many platforms, now he's like on so many platforms. Like I'm so elated and proud of him because like he just be doing his thing. And like with the youth, I've been watching you on Instagram and you've been getting them, you know what I'm saying, solid on the information, the knowledge. And it's just a beautiful thing to watch the awakening happen across this planet, amongst us. And we got still work to do, of course, but the works that have been happening and that I've been seeing, especially on your end, you just going hard. So much gratitude to you. What better teacher? I'm just saying.
Oh, I can think of a couple better teachers, but we ain't gonna get into that right now.
So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to people in case they don't know who you are or where you're from and things like that.
Well, you already told them who I was. My name Rod Hayes. My task at hand is to inform the grassroots that the government is changing over, and on the turnaround, when everything is done, guess who's gonna be in power this time? So that's right. So the problem is that the governments of Earth supposed to be matriarchies because Earth is a feminine planet. So when they tried the patriarchy, it created the deserts. Now my aim is to bring attention to the rise and return of the matriarchy. And people have this twisted idea what matriarchy is. They think it's just take all of the power for men and replace them with powerful women. That's the dumbest shit in the world to me. But what matriarchy really is about is children, because the mothers know the children are the future, and they teach this to the wise children that pay attention. Right? So when we grow up, we have a different world view if our mother was teaching us in the ways of women than what we see presently. And this society makes us greatly uncomfortable. If we don't study and develop a strong mental outlook on what we seeing, we normally bug the fuck out, go Harry Carey, riding around in the streets blasting motherfuckers because we don't know what else to do. Right? So now I'm telling them, look, don't fall for the fear campaigns. All of the fear that the church, the synagogue, and the mosque has been instilling in people for the last 6,000 years was the chains of hell.
Mm-hmm.
Take the fear away, and the chains become feathers. Right?
Mm.
So when we looking at the personal development of individuals, they have to see somebody that see the problem, explain the problem in order for them to see it a lot of times. So
Mm-hmm.
my job is to describe the problem and offer a solution where a solution is available. I haven't found a problem yet that wasn't solvable, right? And it's like one of the elders got a little clip rolling around on Instagram, and he said it better than anybody. When all else fail, go back to nature because nature answers all of man's problems.
Mm-hmm.
They was answering problems before Silicon Valley, before Wall Street, before Washington, D.C., and long before the Vatican. Mother Nature was answering the problems of everybody on the planet in every place at all times, right? So now it's the fact that our awareness determines how fast this thing is moving. Apparently, our awareness is reaching critical mass because they finally decided to tell y'all that Queen of Lizard bitch is dead.
I was cracking up. I'm like, huh, that bitch been dead.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people don't know that they gave a coded sign when she passed.
Mm-hmm.
When the crest on the gate of Buckingham Palace fell, and facing the gate, it would be on our left side, but it would be staged right of us. That represent the right brain.
Mm.
The crest on the right side represent the seal on the mother line was broken. In other words, they was telling us that there was some lizard bitches, I mean Elizabeth, masquerading as the queen, keeping the queen deposed. Right? So now we have to go in history to find something to compare it to. So we compare it to what we call the ousting of one royal in order to replace them with another. We've seen a lot of it go on in Greece and Rome, but a lot
Mm.
of people don't know we still under Roman rule.
Mm-hmm.
And the Romans were called Etruscans before they established Rome. And the Etruscans today are called Moors. And the Moors that was Etruscan came over as conquistadors.
Mm.
And we call them dirty Moors. The reason we call them dirty Moors to distinguish them from what we call a righteous Moor. The righteous Moor was the bays with the feathers who was fighting the Kandja War against the Els and the Fezes. And the righteous Moor job was to be properly educated in Moorish history in order to know the difference between us, the organic people from the land over here, and those who came. We know a couple of things for sure. One is we didn't have prisons before they came.
Mm.
When they came, they set up POW camps and called them plantations,
Mm.
right? And then in the aftermath, because they got to write the history in a way that'll make us accept it as victors, even though we lost. But the war was still going on. It went from a bloody war in what we call the Civil War and the Gullah Wars. The Gullah
Mm-hmm.
Wars The mainstream Westerners call it the Seminole Wars. Our people, well, you can tell who's telling the story by what they call the war in the land of flowers. If they call them Seminole Wars, they the invaders. If they call them Geechee Wars or Gullah Wars or Gullah Geechee Wars, they us, talking
Mm.
about what happened to us. But because we don't know the history correctly, because they intentionally, with malice and forethought, as they say in law, taught us history wrong so that our perception of history and what happened to us would be clouded in a mystery. We was the Masonic secret,
Mm.
right? And they wanted us to remain in perpetual ignorance as to who we were in our station on the land. Well, Big Mama told me to get her shit back, and Mama told me don't let nobody take my brothers and sisters shit. And so when they tell me they stole our land and I look out my window and it's still here, I want to know where they put it. So if the land's still here, even if they stole it, it's in the position for us to reclaim it. Right? So this is what we've been working on. Everybody got to do their part according to their level of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
The higher your understanding evolve, the more you are relied on to inform the clans, the collective clans is what we call it, across the land of the threat and what we need to do as a people in order to face and overcome the threat. Big Mama always leave us a way out. No matter what kind of fuck up we get in, no matter who come here, she got one of her boys that's gonna come through and fix that shit. I'm number 7.
So let me ask you a question, Rod. If so, you said the Gullah Wars and all that was like an in-home like type of fight.
No, no,
Um,
no. We
no.
was fighting invaders.
Okay.
The
Okay.
invaders don't call them Gullah Wars. The invaders call them Seminole Wars.
Okay.
We
Okay.
call them Gullah Wars, Gullah Geechee Wars, and Geechee Wars. They are the same thing. They was because that was the main battleground. Florida.
So, so the Dirty Moors are the one that brought the let me word this right. The genome, well, what we would consider Columbus and all that stuff is, you know.
Columbus was a Tawny Moor. He was a mulatto.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
And his
that.
boss was Pedro del Negro, the navigator on the ship. He was a
Hmm.
blackamoor. That nigga was black, make me and you look light skinned.
What?
Yeah. That's the whole
Hmm.
trick. Because they have the same hair texture and skin tones as us, that they can come and mix in with us and we won't know us from them.
So
This was
they make.
this was a challenge under George Washington in a ceasefire agreement called the Paris Accord, and we know it as the Treaty of Peace and Friendship.
Hmm.
The Paris Accord was signed in Paris, France. The significance of that is the memorial that's left in France, in Paris, right? It's called the
Hmm.
Eiffel Tower. It's a
Okay.
homonym. I fail,
Hmm.
right? And so if it's the Eiffel Tower and it's commemorating somebody's fall, whose land is it on? What's Paris' whole name is Parthénon Le Isis, which means city of Isis. So now you know that this was the fall of the matriarchy that they commemorate. But we got to have a tale coming from France to lay the book wide open. Do you know what that would be?
No, enlighten me.
Well, she got a book wide open. She carry a light in one hand as
Oh,
a
the
torch.
okay, so the Statue of Liberty.
Yep, she's
Well,
a
what they
drag
now
queen.
call that.
That's a drag queen. The
Because
Statue of Liberty is a drag queen.
Right, because they first sent, what was the first statue? It was of the melanated woman, correct?
Right, but the Statue of Liberty is and always was a drag queen, a cross dresser, a sissy, a trans
It looked
testament.
like a dude.
It's always been a man because it represents the Pope.
But they want us to believe that's a woman?
If you stupid enough to fall for it, she got a whole man face.
Man, you hear me?
Okay, now the Pope, and this is how you know. Notice she's sitting there with the book wide open.
Mm-hmm.
What book is she holding? Don't nobody know what book the bitch holding.
I
It's,
don't.
it's the fucking Bible. Why is she holding the Bible wide open? Right? This is the reason why. The Bible is not a spiritual text. It's a contract, a riddle, and it is a code for those who reach a certain attainment to follow a star map in order to unlock the secrets of who we are. So the Pope is the drag queen who's masquerading in the Black Madonna seat as the queen of heaven and earth. But he can't sit on the real queen seat. It's suspended 30 feet over his seat. Because if a man sit in his seat, they forfeit. The man, nobody with testicles supposed to sit in the seat. So they suspended it in the air so the janitor mopping the goddamn floor don't get tired. So, I'm gonna have a seat right here. Right? So if he get up there, he got to get a ladder, a 30-foot ladder. Right? That's what we used to call the House of Sybil, where all of the oracle priestesses of the earth fell up under what we call the 12 daughters of Isis. And they went to different regions of the world once they was trained to be the matriarch that helps everybody else with their development spiritually. All that shit got hijacked by Yahweh and them. Yahweh is Zeus.
Yeah, I know.
That's Enlil and Sumer. Same bitch ass nigga. Alexander's father. Right?
But that's who a lot of the people, that's who a lot of people worship, like Yahweh, the Hebrew Israelites and all, and some isn't it Muslims too?
Well, even Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah is the
Yeah, and
English,
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jehovah
Yeah.
is the English rendition of Yahweh.
And they don't have no idea.
Most of 99.9% of them don't, and the ones that do ain't telling it.
So let me ask you a question. So I saw in the media, I don't believe everything I see. But I saw in the media where the so-called Native Americans, the $5 Indians, had met up with the Pope, or they were given a celebration for the Pope. What was that about?
There was a lady that put the Pope on notice in the public domain. Because we couldn't get close enough to put him on notice, we had to send the ones that they tried to that they made the contracts with. They didn't make contracts with us. We didn't sign treaties and contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Because those contracts that they was offering went against the moral code of the land.
Right.
So they created $5 Indians so they could have somebody to sign these treaties that we didn't sign and we refused to sign.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they set up the reservations for them and left us in Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana instead of funneling us back to our land. Like they say, the Pueblo natives just poofed off the earth. They just poof, they gone. No. Look, when we go to war, the whole family go. We drop the babies off at Big Mama house, right? And Big Mama got the aunties and sit there to take care of the kids while we go fight the wars, and we leave men at Big Mama house. Well, they hijacked Big Mama house, took her name out and called it the Big House, and labeled our family plots as plantations. Now we don't even want to go home.
So my question is, so who helped them do this though?
The Blackamoors.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so
Okay, when you look in the Washington Memorial in D.C., you got a whole bunch of Fezes in there. They the ones challenged us to the Conjure War. Them the L's. And they all are under a death oath. That's why there's a sword on every one of those Fezes to not tell us who we was and to replace us.
so they sold us out.
No, they not us.
Oh.
They want to replace us. They ain't never been us. They just look like us.
Ooh, there's some tea here.
The genetic stock of the natives to this land are more closely tied to Polynesians and East Asians than it is to Africans. But that don't mean we don't got African blood, because in the Atlantic, we had been doing trade with Africa for thousands of years on the east side of the land, from North to South America. And then we was doing trade with China, Japan, and the other islands for thousands of years. And they have these ships. They got ancient ships from China that used to sail over here. They actually have. Dating back a couple thousand years. They also have ships from Africans like Mansa Musa who sailed over here. They also got the Pharaoh used to sail over here for vacation. And they got his ship, but we don't got no slave ships. None of them slave ships they told us exist. We can't find none of them.
So when they told us that, because a lot of people be like, oh, the Africans, people still really say this. They say that the Africans sold their own people.
That's because from our view, look at it from our view, not being from Africa, from being from over here. And the motherfuckers look like the motherfuckers they bringing. That's why they saying that. Look at Tipper Tip and you'll understand why they say Africans the sellers. But Tipper Tip doesn't self-identify as being an African. He self-identify as being an Arab. Now the term Arab means wanderer, right? And Elijah Muhammad said everywhere they go, they call mischief and bloodshed. They have no place that they native to because they not native to anywhere on the planet. So they travel the world causing mischief and bloodshed everywhere they go. They go among peaceful people and start conflicts and then offer a solution to the conflict that they started for a fee.
I'm just sitting here like in awe.
Yeah, them niggas look like us, but they ain't us. They heart don't feel like our hearts feel. We operate from a place of love, compassion, and generosity. They operate from a place of hate, misery, and deception.
So my question is, how did they get there to where they look like us but they're not us? Like, are they mixed up or?
They came here dark skinned, right? They from Nibiru.
Okay.
So Nibiru have all skin tones of people.
Mm.
Now, the respect that they got for each other is closer akin to the respect we have for one another. But the respect they have for us is zero. We pets to them. The
So,
ones of us melanated and the ones non-melanated. They look at us as pets and as farm animals to be um um farmed for food. Adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is not the only secretion that they extract. All of your glands produce a different secretion. So under certain conditions, they'll activate a specific gland so that that secretion is the heaviest in the blood. So that's why you need to know what your glandular system is, because it's gonna help you understand why these motherfuckers want your pancreas, your thyroid, your pituitary gland. They want all that shit
mm-hmm.
because they all do something different.
And these are people that look like us that's doing this?
Yep. Now, you remember growing up in the church, they told us about it was a war in heaven.
Uh-huh.
And they said that Satan was cast to hell
Right.
and bound for 1,000 years. That was Enlil's son Marduk that was bound in Antarctica. He's no longer there. But his job when he came here was to do everything he can to enforce the orders of the Galactic Council by his father's order. His father was trying to take over Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Marduk didn't want to be here. But you know, mama or daddy tell their kid to do something, what we gonna do? Right?
Yeah.
And he was a high-ranking military official on Nibiru with great skills in military strategy, deception, and he was real proficient in making people lose their mind based on living conditions. This is what they've been doing. So Marduk being chained in Antarctica, Tahuti sent his brother Marduk, who was Enki's son, to Nibiru to secure Nibiru.
Mm.
And they changed the name of Nibiru to Marduk to let us know on Earth that the Marduk we sent to Nibiru secured that so that Enlil can't take both places over at once. He's going to either take over nothing or he's going to take over one of them, but he won't get both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So the Marduk that we sent to secure Nibiru came back as Malachi Z. York. The
Whoa.
Marduk who was Enlil's son, he had people that he could telepathically control as if he was them.
Mm. Wow. I'm blown away right now. Wow.
All this stuff in hieroglyphics and cuneiform, and that's why they didn't never want us learning that shit.
So somebody said in here Arabs. What does that mean?
Arab mean wanderer.
Okay.
But you got different tribes. Like Chaldean mean people of the flame, right? And they are closely related to the Arabs, but they're a different tribal group, and their religion is Christianity Catholic, whereas the Arab religion is Islam. They
Mm-hmm.
follow Ninursin. Ninursin is the one who replaced Allah as the god of the Arab people and became Allah when they switched everything from matriarchy to patriarchy. Alat was the moon goddess. But now Allah the moon god. I still say goddess because he a bitch ass nigga to me.
Yeah, so I try to tell people that Allah is actually Allah, but they don't listen to me.
That's
Well,
because they don't do no research. They just go by what them Arabs tell them as if it's the gospel truth because he's from the Middle East.
mm.
Them motherfuckers about much educated about Islam as the average Christian over here is about Christianity.
And we know for a fact that's a whole bunch of lies. But you know, it is what it is. There's some truth in the lies always.
Well, if they don't blaze the lie with the truth, you ain't gonna fall for it at all.
Right, facts. If y'all got some questions, y'all can drop them in the comments. I also got a link if you all want to hop in and ask Rod some questions. We decided there was going to be a Q&A because he like, what do you want to do? I'm like, shoot, just come out here, and if they got questions, they can ask. And shoot, sorry y'all, I gotta find the link again. My bad. But yeah, there we go. You all can hop in here and you can ask Rob whatever questions you want to. If you want to just drop them in the comments and things like that. I'm asking him questions that I had on my mind because I was just like, you know, I know he knows a lot more than I do. And so so I want to ask you a question. My other question is so at this I saw, you know, we free Larry Hoover. A lot of people definitely on the wave. I wanted to ask, they were kind of pushing, I didn't get to talk to you, but they were kind of pushing the fact that he was saying that he is not GD anymore. So I just want you to clarify and speak on that because I was able to pick up on the message, but a lot of people weren't. So, and people
Well,
were asking me.
look, when Larry first got locked up and went to prison in 73, he denounced the gangster disciples way back then. And we know if the masters is observing, you have to come out of a situation and see the same thing you seen going in. That's how you know that it's up.
Mm-hmm.
So the statement that he put out renouncing gangster disciples is nothing new to us in growth and development. Growth and development is a graduated ideology from gangster disciple community terrorists trained by the government to terrorize our own people to wait a minute, something going on. We ain't gang banging no more. We brain banging now.
Mm-hmm.
He been told these motherfuckers he's not a gangster disciple, and he advocates growth and development,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the growth and development is predicated upon the principles of self-knowledge and self-development by erudition and self-learning, right? So we don't advocate anybody terrorizing our communities because the first chance we get, we finna snuff that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
They was never organized in the beginning to be community terrorists. They was originally organized to protect the community against the tyranny of the motherfuckers with the badge. This who was terrorizing the community that caused the cohesion among the youth the government turned them into gangs through infiltration. Right? We got verification of that during the so-called Rodney King riots.
Mm-hmm.
When they called the peace treaty between the Bloods and the Crips, and then the police come through dressed like Bloods shooting up the Crip set, and the Blood set they crying is in the motherfucking party. So they tell the Crips, y'all fall back. They false flagging. We finna find out who they is, lit that motherfucking car up, and there was 4 people in the car. It was 2 of them was FBI agents, and 2 of them was from the crash Rampart crash division of gang task force. They need us to fight each other.
You got a question. Somebody's asking what's going on with the laws in Chicago.
They trying to make them motherfuckers bump straight. See, what they would do in Chicago that make them change the law on the bonds is this. You got a 21-year-old dude that the police can't get off the streets, right? And they catch him with a pistol. The pistol got a 25-year-old murder on it. He in possession of the pistol. They charge him with the murder, and they know it's no way possible that he could have committed the murder because he wasn't born yet. But they would hold him without a bond and give him court continuances as long as they could. According to his knowledge of the law, his lawyer is always part of it. So now we saying no, because the Constitution guarantee you a reasonable bond. They never honored that shit. Now, since you don't want to honor it, we'll give everybody a fucking personal bond in. Right? But it's not as simple and clear cut as people making it say, like, I'm gonna go out and commit a second-degree murder, they're gonna give me a personal bond, I'll be out in the morning. That might happen the first time, but do it again. It won't happen again. See, these laws are all designed to be to our detriment. Any law they pass is not to benefit us.
Facts.
They never pass any law with the organic people of the land in mind. They never did that. If they did, it was only a way to subjugate us. As when the Supreme Court ruled way back in the early days that we would never be part of this country and we would always be perpetual enemy combatants. That's an old ass law, an old ass Supreme Court ruling that's never been rescinded. And they got a doctrine in law called stare decisis, right? And it means a direct look. If it haven't been overturned, it's still in effect. Driyah Scott's still in effect. If you 3/5 compromise, you are imbecile in law and have no rights that a free white person is bound to respect. The only thing there is that you don't even know what a free white person is. A Moor. It's right in the Black's Law Dictionary as a category of Moor, free white person. So when we thinking that they talking about pale-skinned people, the white man ain't even white. That nigga blacker than me and you. But it's a term that indicates nobility. We fought back. We never stopped fighting. We never signed a treaty. We just had to change the strategy of the fight because it was decimating both sides to annihilation. Right? We know at the close of the age, we can get them off the planet. But we have to survive long enough to do that.
Right.
So that's what made us accept the Conjure War, which put us all in amnesia. We gods with amnesia. We walking around with dementia, don't even know
it. You got another question. Do you think Russia will evade the U.S.? Invade?
Yeah, they said evade is more like it because they not finna come over here doing shit. Donald Trump, look, Donald Trump and motherfucking Putin gonna have crumpets together and laugh about this shit in a couple more months.
Okay, I'm already here. I'm definitely.
Look, all that shit about China about to invade, Russia about to invade, that's called creating the boogeyman. Straight out of 48 Laws of Power. You gotta create a motherfucker for y'all to be scared of so that y'all can run to these coward motherfuckers for protection.
Yeah. Somebody
Russia
said
about much thinking about us as we thinking about going over there shitting in Putin's bathroom.
Right. Ain't thinking about it at all.
I didn't see that movie, nope.
You didn't. I want to say I can personally give my little thing about it. I really honestly feel like they tried to jade it a little bit, only because it's Jordan Peele's film, and he with him coming out with Get Out and all that stuff. You know, now he has to kind of commercialize his movies now at this point. So I feel like he was dropping jewels about the as far as the clouds and that being, you know, what they're using to shield the actual what's going on above us. However, I think that they had to try to change it into something kind of scary, like, if that makes sense, so that it can kind of throw us off. So it did drop a lot of jewels, but at the same time, I feel like they kind of changed it up a little bit so that it didn't drop too many jewels, because he was able to drop a lot of jewels with Get Out. And they tend to do that a lot. So, and it's up to the director and things like that. But they said here's a question for you, Rod.
Is that war coming for us with people knocking on door at FEMA camps? Stop falling for the fear campaign. We got elders from the land, organic to the land, that's not taking sides with these bitches that FEMA is going to be ran by. The fear campaign is what they was trying to do when we took FEMA over. All of that shit, when you seen the guy's stones blow up, that was the elders telling us that their plans have been destroyed.
It's a wrap. I knew it. I felt it.
Look, you see the guy's stones blow up, but you don't see where the explosion came from.
Nope, they don't show that at all.
Because it was an energy pulse weapon. It wasn't a bomb.
So they was putting them on notice, like, yeah, and this shit right here.
Yeah.
Their plans is over.
Yeah, that's why the Pope calling all the money in.
Yep.
It's time for him to cash his bitch ass out.
Yep.
And get my sisters back their shit before I go over there and kick his dress off his ass.
And show what's really underneath her.
Shit, you better get a magnifying glass.
Oh my goodness. So when they're talking about, speaking of the Pope, but going into when they talk, we know they drop codes, but I know a lot of people on here don't. When they're talking about Prince Charles getting ushered in as the king and all that crap, what's the code behind that?
That's to give the appearance that business as usual. But it's not business as usual for the ones that know. Charles can't never be the king. He can't never be the king. That's why he was prince and his mother never crowned him. He can't never be the king. All that shit right now is a big ass it's a big ass show. It's a Masonic show. That's why he had on that disheveled ass suit at his mama's funeral. Who going to their mama's funeral with an old wrinkled up ass suit? That's a cable toe ritual. The tie is the cable toe. Only thing he ain't do is pull his pants leg up.
So do you believe that or do you know if he is actually also gone and he's a clone, or is that actually him?
He actually turned on his mom and them, and he working with Trump from what I'm looking at. Okay. But I didn't know that before this week.
Okay.
Right, because they was flipping the QAnon codes.
Okay. So with this next, the next things that are coming up as far as Trump, since we're speaking of Trump, and they're, for whatever reason, they just really still dragging Trump's name through well, I know what reason, but at the same time, I'm trying to get questions into other people jump in and give questions.
Now, it's a controlled narrative, right? It's a Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. They need to have the people screaming what's on the hunter's laptop, what's the frazzle drip file, in enough what happened with the elections for real, and how do y'all know they cheated for real? And people not intelligent enough to start asking these questions on a mass level yet. So they're trying to get them there using Trump as the buck dancing Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said they want all migrants to vote for them. You see, they just jumped off a boatload of motherfucking immigrants on motherfucking Kamala Harris' front porch. Here, you take these motherfuckers. That was a code from Trump.
Yeah, they dropped at what was it at Martha's Vineyard? Like they
now watch this. Kamala Harris is working with Trump undercover.
I heard that. I remember you dropped them jewels. I remember you said that.
And they picked her because she got a fucked up track record of exploiting our people. But she was exploiting them out of trying to stop so-called crime, never knowing that the motherfuckers who was creating the crime all was in D.C.
Yeah. I ain't seen her. Where the bitch been?
So the only time you gonna see her is when she got a code to flip.
Okay, because she ain't been in the scene like most of the presidency.
Right. See, first they trying to get you to see how many different Joe Bidens they using in your face.
Oh my goodness. They got so many of them.
I done counted at least 12 of them motherfuckers.
Man, you heard me. Don't look nothing like each other. And people rolling with it.
Well, shit, they still think that's the real Dave Chappelle. What the fuck?
Somebody said, what's going on with Diddy? Is his time finally up?
Look, Diddy ain't what y'all think he was. Now remember, I'm ride or die with Tupac, but Diddy ain't what you think he is. Puffy's whole agenda was to draw attention to the CIA and their dirty tactics. They was the ones, you remember in one of those Biggie songs, somebody called him up talking about you dead. He was like, oh, yo, you soft, dude. Oh, yeah, you soft. And they was like, kill you, motherfucker. Dead. Yeah. That was the Jewish Defense League calling Biggie just like they call Puffy, right? So Tupac told Puffy, make the deal with the JDL so that we can catch Clive Davis. Clive Davis put the hit on Whitney Houston.
Yeah, I know that.
Right, but she ain't the only one.
Yeah, I know. I heard he big time he puts hits out there.
Now you got to remember, he owned LaFace Records, So Def, Bad Boy, and he was a major executive of a major record label.
You sure he ain't got his hands in that one record label where everybody dying on? What's the Empire?
Empire ran by some rotten ass Arabs.
Oh.
That motherfucker that's the CEO of Empire, he the one who got the insurance policies on all his artists. He got one more left he trying to get. I told these dumbass niggas stop fucking with that motherfucker. He got one more. He got a quota he got to meet or his family gonna oust him. But when they oust him, they gonna behead him.
Wow. He took out all them rappers?
Yeah. Well, he think he did anyway. Because you're going to see some of them come out to tell the story of how he tried to have them killed and how they got away.
Mm.
Blood in my eye.
Somebody said, "What did Whitney Houston do? I miss her."
This is why he wanted Whitney to do another studio album.
Mm-hmm. She couldn't produce.
She said her voice is gone. And he said he don't want to hear that shit. Go to rehab, take a couple of months to get yourself together and get in the studio. So she offered Bobby Christina to replace her for the studio album, right? And his response was, he said, the world don't want Bobby Christina, the world want Whitney Houston. And you gonna do this deal. She wouldn't sign the contract. Because she wouldn't sign the contract, he went to his goons. The Jewish Defense League is a paramilitary group of Negroes that use pale faces to hide behind. Them the same niggas that shot Tupac or had Tupac shot. The same niggas that had to hit on Biggie. They had to hit on Eazy-E, Michael Jackson. They had to hit on Robin Williams, David Carradine. It's a lot of them. But it's the Jewish Defense League that is the paramilitary enforcement arm of the Anti-Defamation League, who work for the Zionist Jews that look like me and you, but they ain't us. They just want our shit.
Somebody said Empire killing them off for insurance policies, right?
Exactly right. It's not just insurance policies. They also have like a gambling room that they put money on which artist is going to go next.
Mm.
Politicians, public figures still getting out. They should be running low at the tribunals on bodies by now, because they've been running that shit 18 hours a day in like 3-4 different JAG courts for like 2.5, 3 years now. So they running all of this CGI, and actors that's doing what they call face-off technology, pretending to be other people. When you see Joe Biden acting like Fire Marshal Bill, he can't remember nothing, that's Jim Carrey.
Mm.
When you see him come out and he's making a speech and it makes sense and it's real important and it's serious, that's James Woods. It's a couple more of them, but most of the other ones don't do speeches. They just do public appearances. They got face-off technology that the CIA use. Yeah, Robin Williams. They was mad at Robin Williams because he wouldn't participate in a pedophile cult. He been knowing about it for years, and they always tried to get him to get involved, but he wouldn't get involved, so they don't have no dirt on him. To say he wouldn't get no dirt on him, they had to get rid of him because he was making other people stand up to him, is how they seen it. It's the same with David Carradine. When David Carradine found out that the movie Kung Fu was supposed to be Bruce Lee, and he started studying the ways of the Zen, he felt bad about stealing Bruce Lee's role in his own production and tried to make amends for it by trying to straighten out some of the dirt in Hollywood with the contract side from the writer to production. And they got tired of him always putting his 2 cents in shit, and he was starting to become too influential, so they had to get rid of him.
So my question is, since we on the the celebrity talk and things like that. Jennifer Hudson just got her own television show from what I've seen. If I remember correctly, when she was coming out, or I guess getting the Grammy for Dreamgirls or something like that, her whole family was murdered. Remember, they were massacred
It
or
was her
whatever.
sister, her mama, and I think her
Her
nephew.
nephew, yeah.
That was her sister's ex got
So
out
they
of
said
prison. He got out of prison. He did that shit.
he did.
They
So it
got that.
wasn't a sacrifice.
No, no.
Okay.
He did that shit. He was mad about something in a relationship. He was one of them tender dick jealous motherfuckers, them 9-vote niggas that y'all gonna drive crazy.
Not me no more.
9-vote ass nigga, tender dick. Look, y'all give him a shot and he can't behave himself. He done lost all his man. I'm just telling you like it is. You know I ain't gonna cut no corners.
Oh, I don't want you to. I want you to keep it. You already know. That's why you here. They talking about Brittany Griner.
I think that she's over there to collect an inheritance on the turnaround. They needed an excuse to keep her over there because she have to be there for a certain amount of time. So she probably got somebody in her family that traced their bloodline back to the old Russians. Russians used to look like us.
Yeah.
So
Everybody used to look like us.
it's a good chance that she's over there to secure her family's inheritance. And they're using that other shit because if you really think about it, come on, vape pen.
Right.
How the fuck they know it was THC?
Yeah.
What if it was just a tobacco pen?
Right. Because I didn't went through the airports plenty of time with pens with weed in it.
Yeah, so they, in order for them to go, that's just an excuse. That's a cover up. Well, exactly what they covering up, I don't know yet. But I would bet my money on they had to hold her there for her to get the inheritance.
I got a question for you that you probably don't know, but you might know a little bit about. Is this real ID? Why they're doing a countdown towards that? Because I was in the DMV today, and the answer that the dude gave me didn't make no sense to me, and it didn't sit well with my spirit. The real ID ain't never sat well with my spirit. A lot of people don't know about it, but by May 3rd, 2023, they're saying that everybody needs to have this real ID in order to travel, even domestically on flights. Any federal buildings will require this real ID, things like that. So, what's your take on that?
The real ID, if you go sign up for that shit, that's because you was a damn fool.
That,
All of that shit is to recontract you back to the dead system. That's it. Fuck they ID, fuck they driver's license, fuck they social security card, fuck they jobs. Only reason why I can say that I walked out of mine 2 years ago and ain't looked back. Fuck them
okay.
motherfuckers. If you can't
Okay.
treat the people I'm working with right, you really don't give a fuck about me. Deuces, I'm out.
Yeah. Agreed.
Right? So a lot of people leaving their jobs, but they was reporting on it. It was called the Big Quit. So if you Google the Big QUIT, the Big Quit, you can get some of the information. But it was getting so bad they had to stop reporting it because it would trigger more people to
To
follow
quit.
through with
Yep.
killing that system.
I
So
know, because we out here in Vegas and it's one worker in every CVS and Walmart. I'm talking about Walgreens. I'm talking about every CVS and Walgreens. There's literally only one or two workers except the pharmacy. And
and
they're
what a lot of
saying,
people don't know about the pharmacists is if you're a licensed pharmacist, you got to go to work or you can go to prison.
oh, because them pharmacies ain't losing no workers. They got the workers.
Look, if you had a crack spot that you could threaten the motherfucker to work there, that if he don't come to work, he going to prison. How much money you gonna have pumping out that crack spot?
Hella.
You did. That's all it is the pharmakia is conjure. It's conjure work. And the pharmacy is instrumental in it's a drug distribution network ran by the government.
Mm-hmm.
Like people always hear them talking about the DEA. DEA, three-letter acronym. You know what it stands for?
No.
Drug Enforcement Agency.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna say something else, like it was some type of code.
Well, the question that I asked when I first heard it is, what the fuck is they really enforcing? When you go back and watch movies like Blow, the story of Pablo Escobar, then you'll see that the CIA, and then you read the Iran-Contra, you can watch it on video, on YouTube, Iran-Contra hearings. They got caught. The United States government got caught bringing drugs in from South America, selling them in America. They got caught red-handed. George Bush, Ronald Reagan, who didn't have no choice because they tried to murder that motherfucker, and Oliver North. Oliver North is also one of the authors of Readiness Exercise 1984. For those who don't know what that is, that's a government program to round us up and murder us. In there, there's a subsection called Operation Cable Splicer. And Operation Cable Splicer say they need to watch the people coming from the south of the border. And this was instrumental in us reclaiming the land because New Mexico, Arizona, California, that's all Mexico. And Nevada.
Yeah.
They won that in the Mexican-American War, but they didn't really win it. They just said they did and start acting like they did.
Like
These
always.
motherfuckers just setting up shop, and we don't know what they doing, so we thinking they legitimate. They not legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Never have been. That's why we can't find a treaty on file that they ever honored. They never honored a treaty because they never made none with us. They brought people over here from Mongolia. They were Huns, they were Persians, and they were Hindus. And then they presidential decreed them as the chief. Motherfucker ain't got no blood from over here. And the president declared him as the chief so he could sign the treaties. And he was a motherfucking slave that came over here. And that's why they had him on reservations for real. You know, you got your property, you got to keep track of where it go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you put your dogs in the kennel and tell them to stay the fuck in the kennel. Catch you outside this kennel and tie your ass up. But we don't know our history, so we don't know about Andrew Jackson and the Trail of Tears and what his Indian Removal Act had to do with us.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Indian Removal Act, and they was calling us the Indus. We the Indians, according to their literature.
Mm-hmm.
And the Indian Removal Act was to remove us from being registered as Indians, reclassify us through paper genocide, and call us blacks, Negroes, and colored folks. Nigga, I'm the goddamn chief. I'm Chief motherfucking Pontiac. I'm coming to get my people their shit back.
Mm-hmm.
You is in a de facto capacity. You can go now. We don't need you here.
Right. That
So
part.
that shit all closed down.
So the IRS and all that is closed down and things like that. That's all
They
shut
just
down.
right. So what they running now is what they call. So the last vestiges of power is a facade. Once the power has been taken down, the only thing left is the appearance of power. They want to look strong by telling y'all these agencies are still active. Military intelligence sees the CIA and the FBI and a lot of the high-ranking officials went to Gitmo, as well as the Justice Department.
Mm-hmm.
The military is in control, regardless of what anybody thinks. And Trump is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
Or else Biden would have the nuclear football and we'd be in the middle of a nuclear war.
Right.
Because how you gonna get a nuclear football to a motherfucker on the record of having dementia?
Right. They would have been had a field day with us. I even said that.
Yeah, so they can't let that clown have the nuclear codes because his capacity is non-existent. The bankruptcy of the United States on the show cause hearing, right? So they tried to get an extension on the bankruptcy. You can't get an extension. They had 3 extensions already. They can't get any more.
Dang.
Now they have to put up a shut up. Since they couldn't produce the national debt to pay the bankruptcy, the national debt on the turnaround becomes the national debit to rebuild our infrastructure. Because all the time we the ones they owe and we the ones they stole it from. We not eligible for reparations because reparations is a red herring to keep you from fighting for what's really yours.
Right. That part.
Fuck they reparations. That's toilet paper money. I don't care how much if they offer you $500 billion. It's toilet paper money to our real shit.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the money. Find out who the board members of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. And when I did that, I found one account that had $385 quadrillion in it. That's some old ass money.
Hell yeah.
Now,
Quadrillion? Shit, I ain't
look,
even heard of
you can get
that.
everybody on Earth. It's 8.4 billion people and declining now. It was increasing, now it's declining. It's about 8.3 billion people now. You get everybody $1 billion and you won't even tip none of that off.
That's sad.
Everybody on Earth could be a billionaire. Man, woman, and child. But the problem is if everybody was rich, who gonna do the work?
Mm-hmm.
So under the new system, right, the Pharaoh, Thutmose the 10th, is the one who's going to reallocate the wealth according to the family banking networks. So the message to the ones like you, Driyah, for your family, study how to set up a family bank and study how to set up a credit union. Setting up a credit union is the same thing as a family bank, only it's family members instead of just people who signed up to be part of the credit union. Once
Mm-hmm.
you understand the setup, then you got to put you a board together of different people in the family with that's financially literate that can help people say, well, your business plan sucks. So let's see if we can't make this motherfucker workable.
Mm.
And then we can help our family members to get on their feet. And then we can see prosperity all over the land. But
Yeah,
the first
we
thing
gonna
we
talk
gonna do
about this.
First thing we gonna do though is have Mardi Gras from coast to coast, North America and South America. And Brazil gonna have the biggest Brazilian parade you ever seen, and that shit gonna be broadcast up here too.
I'm ready. Yeah, it's time. It's time for that.
Yeah.
Somebody said, are there hidden pyramids in every state?
No, not in every state, but there's a lot of hidden pyramids on the land.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But even the ones that don't have pyramids, they have other types of mound that's sacred places still.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They got us broke up into 50-something states, but we only had like 4 major territories. So the 4 major territories will probably be broke down some because it's more people over here now.
Yeah.
C-sections, doctors is doing C-sections out of convenience, and it has nothing to do with the patient or the baby at this particular present time in medical practice. The doctor got a golf game to go to. He not finna sit around waiting on her to be in labor for 72 hours. Cut that motherfucker out so I can go hit this hole in 9. I got motherfucking 12 holes left in my game.
That's crazy.
So the C-sections, they have, I did a video on Facebook called Desecration of the Holy Places. It's about mastectomies and hysterectomies. Because this is what they doing ritualistically to keep the women out of power. They snatching out uteruses and chopping off breasts.
Mm.
Any woman who understood her body would know that if her vagina is alkaline, it can't get sick. It can't carry a foul odor.
Tell them.
But soon as that motherfucker get acidic, it smell like who you? What the fuck is up in that motherfucker?
Yep.
Smell you? You could smell over her perfume.
Yep. That's true.
But I ain't the one to talk, so you ain't heard it from me.
So, we're in a time of we gotta love on each other and things like that. What is your advice to a lot of the youth? And because a lot of people feel like our people can't come together. Some people are stuck in that 3D mindset that we can't come together and that's not going to work if we come together. Like, what advice would you give for people that really want to be able to, have that love for one another, and what is it that they need to do in order to get there?
Okay, so if the youth, tell the youth, the ones that feel like them, click up. Because it's a lot of people, like you say, don't believe that we can unify.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot of us that know we can.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones of us that know we can, we just doing that shit. It's just like this conversation here is a needed conversation in the public.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because one, we seeing respectful communication between a man and a woman that we don't see too often.
Facts.
Right? Then you got a guy on here that understand the nature of the matriarchy is not the same as the patriarchy, and a sister that understand that he know what the fuck he talking about. Because she can feel it in her bones.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when they be talking about matriarchy, they talking about feminism. I don't fuck with feminism. That's a homosexual agenda anyway.
Right.
Always was intended to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they wanted to masculinize the women and emasculate the men. Why would you do that? What do you expect to get out of that? It's got to be a strategy to it, or else they wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the strategy is if the men is effeminized, there's nobody to protect the women. And the motherfuckers that the women about to have to fight, she gonna need manly muscles. The fuck we here for then?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What it look like a man chasing another man, talking about a relationship in the middle of war.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even fight the war for looking at the motherfucker, how he shoot his gun is so cute to you. Nigga, he need to turn around and shoot your ass in the face. So you take the soldiers out, you don't have no fighting force to defend you.
Mm-hmm.
This is a whole gay agenda. But the end game of the gay agenda is to normalize pedophilia.
Yep. Try to
That's
tell
the
them.
end game. The homosexual agenda serves several purposes along the way. It's in stages and degrees. They wrote a manifesto. I forgot the name of the book, but I sent it to you, Driyah, first chance I get. But they
Okay.
wrote a whole manifesto for the gay agenda, and it was assembled by military generals that a bunch of billionaire homosexuals hired to write a strategy to make homosexuals more acceptable to the mainstream. And they followed that shit to the letter. They got a whole Art of War strategy book on how to turn back motherfucking gays into. Now, I'm not homophobe. Some people born gay and I don't have no problem with them. I got a problem with the ones that molest children to convert them to
Right.
homosexuality.
That part.
And the ones that teach children to be confused if they're a boy or a girl.
Yep.
Mother
That
Nature
part.
wasn't confused when she gave that nigga dick and balls. Why in the fuck would he be confused at what she gave him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's interfering with the process of nature.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that's abhorrent to nature is evil by its own definition.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only true evil is that which is in opposition to life. Because evil backwards is life. Live.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't live, you can't make no babies, woman on woman and man on man. Woman got a better chance parthogenically.
Right. Then men on men for sure.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Ain't no man gonna get pregnant fucking another man in the ass. It's just not gonna happen.
Not at all.
It's not gonna happen.
That's why
Right?
they steal it. That's why they kidnapping women and trying to steal their womb, going in there and taking their wombs and trying to see if they can create a way for men to be able to have babies and stuff. Just weird ass shit.
Really, the truth of the matter about why they doing that is to um put mud in your eye, so to speak. It's to make you so motherfucking mad at these motherfuckers that you just write all men off.
Mm.
A lot of women are writing the men off because of shit like that. It's an abomination, and you can't make it. You can't put it no other way. That's what they call in metaphysics the great debauchery. Is to turn the children from their natural state into a state that's unnatural to them, and a genetic fuck up from creating humans in the laboratory, test tube babies.
Somebody said a lot of people is reporting Nibiru in the
And
Colorado sky.
it wouldn't surprise me because all of the elders is in Cheyenne Mountains in Colorado at Raven Rock, continuity of government. A lot of them is there. So this is where all of the action is. And then when not Nibiru, when the ship coming from Nibiru, it's a jumper ship called the Crystal City. The Crystal the
I'm
Crystal
sorry,
City.
we watching this thing on Netflix and it just like literally is called another life. It's called Another Life on Netflix, and it's a big crystallized. Every time they pop up, is big crystallized. What do they call it? Like cities. If that
Yep.
a city or a whatever they call it, it's like a big crystallized thing, and they keep mentioning jump ship. So when you said that, it just like I don't know what led us to watch that, but we started watching it. And I'm like, okay. So it kind of, I don't know, it's a confirmation. My
Look,
bad.
they talking about Noah's Ark was on the waters and all that shit, right? In Genesis 7:17, I think it is, it say that Noah's Ark was taken up into the heavens.
Mm.
That's in Genesis. In Revelations, the New Jerusalem descends from the clouds as a bride adorned for a groom. So it's the return of the ark or the great crystal city. The great crystal city is the city of gold. That's when you follow the yellow brick road, you find Emerald City, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's because the crystal city is going to land in Colorado on Emerald Lake.
Mm. So that right there was a big ass Joe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Come through.
Now, the county, I forgot the name of the county. I think it's called Bow County or something like that. But the county is shaped like the Liberty Bell with a crack in it. I'm just saying, go look that shit up. She be sitting there talking, oh shit, wow, oh.
You know me.
Look, you remember the big building Apple built under Steve Jobs, like a big ass donut on the ground?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's another ship that's supposed to land right in the middle of it that fits perfect. That's just a reconstruction of an old Atlantean landing pad.
Mm.
And all this shit about to come to a grand finale. And we gonna see motherfuckers from varying different places that don't look like us at all. You're gonna see motherfuckers that look like walking lizards on two legs.
I can look. I'm already
Motherfuckers that
preparing
look like
myself.
motherfuckers that look like Bigfoot.
I'm
You're gonna
preparing
see
myself.
the little hairy motherfuckers like Ewoks from Star Trek. They called the whinies. Those are some of the smartest motherfuckers you ever want to run across. They all gonna be there. They all of these different beings that we've been taught about in fairy tales and nursery rhymes actually live on Nibiru. But when they come to Earth, they have to take on the Earth suit, a human physique. But now, when they come back, they gonna come true form known. Right now, it's everybody's true form is unknown.
Yeah.
But now you about to see them in their true form. All of they cloaking shit, this UV rays is destroying that shit.
So I got another question then. Since you speaking on that or whatever. When it comes to like I know like the lizard forms and stuff like that with the sun and it, you know, doing what it's doing and things like that and has been doing. And a lot of, you know, a lot of the entertainment has seen these lizard forms, you know, shapeshift in front of them and things like that. You're saying we're going to see more of the forms coming through as far as like them not being able to
Yeah, they
house
won't be.
these.
They're not gonna be able to cloak because the radiation is going to cause the cloaking devices to malfunction.
Okay.
It's gonna be too. The temperature's gonna be too high. It's gonna be too much radiation, and then the ozone layer is getting closer to the Earth, and that's why they turned off the Schumann resonance recorder. They don't want you to know what's going on.
Okay. And the moon, how do you feel about the moon?
The
There's
moon is a
always,
spaceship. It's a
huh?
battleship.
Okay, because people always going back and forth about the moon. I be scrolling different stuff, and I'm like, I feel like me myself. I don't feel as connected to the moon as I do the sun. Let me just be
Mm-hmm.
clear with that. And they always say women are supposed to feel connected to the moon. I don't. Not like that. So I just had to ask you that question because
But you might not be a daughter of the moon. You might be a daughter of the sun.
I know I'm a daughter of the sun. I'm just saying, like people always say, "Oh, it's a women, it's a feminine thing, it's for women," and then it like kind of discounts me because I don't connect with the moon like that.
Well, before they put the moon up there as a ship, women used to decide when they wanted to have a menstrual cycle.
Hmm.
They
So
would
we was
do
having one before the moon because people make it seem like the moon is the reason
no,
we're
no,
like.
you was having one, but it worked like this. When you just let's say a woman decides she want to have a baby, she'll have one or two cycles to clear her system out of toxins, and then she'll get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When they put the moon there, it took away your ability to regulate your own menstrual cycle.
Mm. So it took away the control
Yeah.
of us having our own menstrual. Oh, our own menstrual cycles when we wanted to, which makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense that you said that because I feel disconnected from the moon, like other women are claiming they feel connected to it, and I'm like,
Okay, now you got to ask them at what phase of the moon do they feel the energy the strongest? Because with the 3 days that the moon is not visible, and if they say they feel the moon strongest, then that's not the moon, that's Saturn, that's Lilith.
okay.
Lilith energy was the energy that the women had total self control of their bodily functions. Y'all used to age at your own pace.
Mm.
That's why black don't crack. You went from being able to stay 30 for 100 years to not being able to control it anymore.
Mhm. I'm with you, Queens living. I feel so much stronger with the sun than the moon. I guess I was trying to get a connection with the moon because it was like everybody kept putting it out there, like you as a woman and da da da. It's supposed to be. I'm like, still ain't got it.
Yeah, but
Still
everybody,
haven't.
like, it's just like for instance, my Scorpio is my zodiac sign, right? I don't have to do everything that's classical Scorpio to still be a Scorpio,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, let's say that a new star comes in, because Scorpio have two ruling planets, three
Mm-hmm.
actually, Mars, Pluto, and Mercury.
Okay.
Now, one of them was ancient, and then they changed, I think, Mercury to Mars, because Scorpio went to war because they put an inequity between Virgo and Scorpio, which was at once one sign.
I could believe that. That's crazy.
It used to be called Virgo Scorpio.
Mm.
Anyway, Libra is now between Scorpio and Virgo
Mm-hmm.
because the inequity was put between the man and the woman. The Scorpio is the defender of the Virgo. The man is the defender of the woman. The imbalance came in when the man tried to replace the woman and be a woman. That's some Enlil shit. I'm the only guy, just me. Just me. You can't worship nobody but me. Get your bitch ass somewhere and sit down. Talking about you jealous. I'm a jealous guy. My feelings get hurt. If you start worshiping that God over there, my feelings gonna get hurt. Fuck
That's
your
crazy.
feelings. You supposed to be God. Fuck your feelings.
Yeah, exactly. The creator of all. Exactly.
Yeah, he ain't create nothing but mischief and bloodshed since he been here.
Yep.
Time for him to go. I don't think they got that much time left. That's like 3.5 years or so.
I don't mean to laugh, but I'm sorry. I'm ready for them to go.
Look, you gonna see something soon because there's too many signs. Now I can't see in the future, but I can read in real time what's taking place. And there's too many things taking place at one time for
Mm-hmm.
something not to have to give soon.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. So if you want to get some insight, start asking them oracles. Send them oracles that be reading cards on YouTube. Send them $25 and ask the question.
They sure gonna give it to you.
And they gonna tell you because the oracles can see the future. I can't see the future, but I can read it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you a date, but I can tell you that a date that look hot based off events. Like
Mm-hmm.
Monday, that looked like a hot day.
This Monday coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right now, I don't know what's gonna happen, but it looked like a hot day based off the signs.
Mm-hmm.
Something gonna happen. What's gonna happen, I can't tell you.
Right.
Right? Because I can't see the future that clear.
Right.
But them oracles reading them cards, the cards gonna tell her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because she's tapping into the Akashic records and she's using the cards as the window into the Akasha. Right? And then some of them so good they don't even need cards. They just straight dry readers. You know, like it's one girl, her shit be so accurate. She don't use no cards. Her Katarina Atkins, hers is Heavenly on My Time is her page.
Okay.
And she be doing divine feminine, divine masculine reads. And some of that shit be laser beam accurate. Um Tarot readers, I like Brittany Madison, she good.
Yeah, I think we follow each other.
Blue Rose Tarot, she good. A good medium, Alexa K. Tyler. Now, a lot of her stuff, she see what she's seeing, but she don't know what it means. Sometimes she'll just say it out of her mouth. She was like, I don't know what this means, but this is what I'm seeing. Right.
So
And
what
then
about Quatita Dean then? How do you feel?
I haven't heard her.
You haven't? She
Mm-mm.
does a lot with the celebrities, the rappers, and mostly the entertainment. She's also helped with crime, unsolved crime and stuff like that with Kanika Jenkins and stuff like that. So
Is she the one with the mole on her face?
yeah, the moles and stuff around her
Yeah,
eyes.
she good too, but she she see the fear campaign as opposed to knowing what is actually taking place. She see accurate, but she don't know how to translate what she's seeing according to the current events. That's the stabilizer of the information, the current
Mm-hmm.
events. So when you get the oracle read, the current event tell you what you're looking at, what's taking
Mm-hmm.
place in real time when you get this information off of the spirit channel, because the same frequency is coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You reading it as it's coming in, and everybody else seeing it as it play out afterwards. So you got a
Yeah.
chance as an oracle or medium to tell people ahead of time what's taking place.
So I got another question. I'm not being messy. I just got a question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you my brother. People. I just got you know I wouldn't be Driyah talk if I didn't ask you. So what do you feel like is happening with Rashad Jamal? He's still locked up, quote unquote. And you know, because it's a big speaker over the spiritual community, also amongst people that follow you, me, other people. That's why I'm bringing it up, not to be messy, but really honestly to just kind of lay a lot of things out on the table. Like,
Rashad Jamal is reincarnate Toussaint Louverture. He have to go to Haiti to close the conjure, the war conjure. The people over here that's trying to hold on to power are aware of who he is. And so they slid somebody under him to make him isolate himself from everybody that could help him. Once he isolated himself, they pounced on him like a cat on a mouse. Right? And so at first, I wasn't gonna say nothing because in one of his videos, he was like, fuck Rod Hayes.
mm-hmm.
right? So I was done with him. Whatever he do, that's his business, you know. But um, later on, Big Mama sent me some messages, and some kids came through. And when the kids came through, I had to put all whatever he said about me on. Fuck that shit. These kids is more important,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it turns out that they got an energy backup right now. He don't have a bond
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have any evidence, right? They trying to link him to all kind of shit just to keep him indisposed. But if they stop acting like Ellie the enemy and let the kids and Ellie do the ritual together, the meditation, they'll move the energy to get him out. But
Mm-hmm.
his camp believe that Ellie not solid. Ellie 100% solid, right? I know this for a fact. Ain't no doubt in my mind Ellie solid. And they got people that's close to him that's pouring dirt on her, that's keeping him in the huckabuck.
Mm-hmm.
Because of where he at, he can't straighten the problem out, and then he don't got nobody on the street that can see clear enough to fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So Big Mama sent you the axe so we could put it in the public domain, but they don't want to accept the fact that Ellie is a powerful individual, high-ranking spiritual soul. They want her to be less than who she is. She can't do that. It's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
So right now he's in what you call limbo. He's just there. They don't got no the case. They don't have a case against him in truth. And they found out um from going through phone records that it was a plot against him from the let her go. They got the whole thing in text messages and emails.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, who the fuck even do emails anymore? Right? But they figured that shit was gonna be secure, and they didn't know that the whole phone internet shit is military owned. They go
Mm-hmm.
everything going on your social media shit,
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
right? So, um, they slid Ice's wisdom. I had to ask Big Mama, can I say the bitch name? She said, throw that bitch out there.
I was gonna wonder if you was gonna say it.
She the one slid up under him and told him all the people he needed to separate from.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
when
because I didn't see that separation, not even with you or with Khalid and nobody until that happened. So I can definitely confirm that.
yeah, she came right in, whispered in that nigga ear, and he a soldier. He came out ready for war, but he didn't know that the enemy was sending him to fight the friendly side. You know what I told you a long time ago. Big Mama told me to go bump him straight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had to wait till he's um open to listen to work with him,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I had to find out the source of the problem. That's a whole nother animal right there, right? Because the source of the problem, as far as where his understanding of how to treat people, right? That's where his grievances was coming from, right? The sisters was grieving how he interact with him. From a man's perspective, he wasn't doing nothing nefarious, but the women felt disrespected. So that's why she told me to bump him straight, but I couldn't find no way to get to him to say, hey, this is what the issue is. You're not treating these, you're not, your interaction with these people not coming from the right place, and a couple of adjustments and you'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now he dealing with them motherfuckers, and they know they can't do nothing but hold him. That's all they can do is hold him and make him miserable. Then you got other people who's pretending to be in his camp that's casting conjure spells to keep him in there. And I'm like, that's the dumbest shit in the world. Cause all that everybody that's doing conjure right now got to be a goddamn fool. Cause all of the conjures is being opened up at the close of the age. It's instant karma when that shit come back to your ass.
Right, that part.
It ain't
I
no
did.
delay in it because all conjures got to be closed at the end of the age. And you got motherfuckers every day trying to open up a new conjure, a new love spell on. If you need to put a love spell on a motherfucker, you don't
That
need it.
ain't for you. Exactly. So I gotta ask another question then since we on the young pharaoh.
Young Pharaoh, I haven't been checking in on him, but I know at one point he was playing something called the Sacred Clown, where you appear to be insane to the general public, but to the chiefs watching you, you speak the truth. They can still hear it regardless of what everybody else is seeing. It's a Hayoka practice that's very rare and in this day and age, but it used to be common in times gone by.
Mm-hmm.
That's what ODB Chief Crazy Horse was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So um, young Pharaoh could be either he could be going through his own shit or he could be playing the sacred clown. But I haven't checked in to see what young Pharaoh was talking about in at least a year.
Oh, he on some. I don't know now. Listen, I don't watch him like that, but from what I sat back and did watch and was discerning, only because I really respect young Pharaoh and what he's done as far as awakening the youth and a lot of our people. He helped me and a lot of truth and knowledge and things like that. So that's a big reason why. But from what I've seen, it's like they got him, and that's just me. It's just me. And what I picked up on, um, I took into consideration what you said, and I seen those parts too. But as of recently, when I just chimed in just to check on, because that is our brother, and at the end of the day, we stray and things like that. You know what I mean? As far as like from the mission, and sometimes we can get distracted, and they infiltrate, and people come in, and all of that. So I take all that stuff into consideration. But just on some hold to check on him type of thing, it was just like still kind of really far gone. So I don't know. I can't really speak on that aspect, but me personally, I just really
Well, if I was looking to see his condition, I would be trying to see where is Seti.
ain't nowhere around.
Because if Seti not around, Pharaoh had a propensity to go rogue. That's the one who keep him in line and keep him on the straight up.
Yeah,
And it, so if
he's
you
not
don't see
around.
Seti, something is up. Something is amiss.
Yeah. Okay. If y'all got some questions, go ahead and ask them. If nothing else, I just got one more question, right? And I'm not gonna hold you any longer because you have dropped so many jewels. Somebody asked about the Safety Act. Is that what we spoke
That's
about
that
earlier?
law in Chicago we was talking about
Yeah,
earlier.
okay. We
We
talked
already
about that
went over that.
earlier. Yeah, you all can rewind back to that. Um, here's another one. Sorry.
We all stopped talking for about 3 years or 5 days and use our platform just to show our face. What would that do to the system? You're not gonna get enough people. Anytime that we um group do anything, we fuck with their algorithms, and that's fucking with their money, and they really don't like it. That's why we did back on February the 22nd the Free Larry Hoover thing, um, because we was fucking with their algorithms and it worked,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so now we at the point now where it's a waiting game at this point in truth. It's just letting this motherfucker finish rolling out while they rolling up the scene from the last show. That show
Mm-hmm.
over with. Piscean Age is closed.
Mm-hmm.
All of these motherfuckers that was doing the dirt, they out of there. right? Now, for a lot of people think because I called the Dirty Moors out that I'm anti-Moor. But we had to send our Braves and our Chiefs in order to do the Conjure War and seize the title of Moor. We call those righteous Moors. I'm not anti-Moor. The grand governing body of the Moor Science Temple have a record of every one of the motherfuckers that they got the complaints on. They know who all of the Dirty Moors is because they all do the same shit. They got a pattern and they can't break from it because it's part of their makeup of who they are. And when they send the report, the body tell the leadership who the rogue elements is, because the leader can't always see them, right? So the people come and be like, I got a complaint. This motherfucker charged me $3,500 for a nationality, and my card's on the back say U.S. citizen. The Moorish national U.S. citizen. Make that shit make sense.
That part.
But the way Noble Drew Ali had the original Moorish Holy Temple of Science set up, they couldn't arrest a Moor. And if they did detain one, he could send an authorized representative from any one of the temples to go get him and escort him to the temple. Because they didn't have jurisdiction.
Now they in jurisdiction. Big
Somebody
time.
betrayed Noble Drew Ali and signed a contract with the corporate government that gave them jurisdiction over the members of the Moor Science Temple. And that's what the whole C. Kirkman Bay Mealy Eel conflict was predicated upon in secret. In public, it was a battle for supremacy of who was going to be the leader. And Noble Drew Ali didn't leave neither one of them niggas as the leader. The guy that he left with the keys to the kingdom became a member of the Nation of Islam and a follower of Elijah Muhammad. And he passed only a few years ago, and his name was Brother Moon. All of the elders in the nation know who he is, because he the ones who came with the keys that he got from Noble Drew Ali to give to Elijah Muhammad. Noble Drew Ali was gave up to the police by his Mufti staff. They couldn't get to Noble Drew Ali without having Muftis involved. It's not possible. So the Mufti staff had to be the ones, so they was infiltrated. The Nation of Islam got infiltrated, and Malcolm X ran a red herring and then did a whole press conference to tell Elijah Muhammad the names of the infiltrators, and everybody seen what they wanted to see. They didn't see what was really taking place because they don't know how your mama and my mama ain't never met each other, but they can talk over both our head, and they know what they talking about, and we be wondering like, what the fuck they talking about? I think they talking about us. We got a clue, but we don't know. They know exactly what they doing. Right? It's the same way. Malcolm had to make the dirty players show their hand. It's just like a card game. When the dirty player show his hand, you know who cheating. These same motherfuckers murdered Malcolm. They murdered Clarence 13X, and they murdered Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's family in Washington under the title of Black Muslim Mafia, and all the time they Moorish Zionist Jews, the wise elders of Zion, them niggas. They look like us, but they ain't us. All of the police departments is going to be absorbed by the sheriffs. The sheriffs are going to be under the jurisdiction of the Grand Sharif of the land. Chief Malik Angel Bay is his name, aka Jeff Ford. So it is what it is. He's the one who enforces the law on the land. That's why he was in prison. They didn't want him out. rallying the motherfucking troops. But that's his job. And his assistant off the Blue House is Big Tookie. That's why they froze him instead of killing him. They couldn't kill him. They wasn't allowed to kill him.
So I got a question since you said that. Is he in the spirit realm per se? Because
He in Colorado at Raven Rock, working out with Angel Bay and going through paperwork. They right now they trying to rationalize the 72 secret treaties. It's 72. That's what they went in Mar-a-Lago looking for. The 72 secret treaties is what they was using to operate under. So we gonna find out what they is.
because Katita Dean said that she was able to pick up on him in the spirit realm.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of time they think a medium is picking up a telepathic link. They'll think that it's a spirit link because that's all they used to talking to.
Okay.
It's just like Tupac. Tupac can talk to me telepathically. It sounds like I got that nigga on the telephone.
That makes sense because she was wondering why she was able to talk to Juicy J too, and she like they still alive, like they're not dead. So
That's
I was
what
just
Triple X
wondering.
kept telling me. Triple X, the little boy from Florida, or he's from Florida.
Extension or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came through. I was talking about Empire. This motherfucker, he came through so strong, and I knew he got this thing that he do, and he kept doing it, and it annoyed me. He kept calling me bro, right? And I kept telling him, stop calling me bro. And he was like, but bro, you got him, bro. But then because it was getting on my nerves so bad, I had to ask the people listening. I said, do anybody know what the fuck this kid talking about? And a couple of his diehard fans were like, that's how he talk. He say that all the time. That's how you. And he kept saying, bro, I ain't dead. They tried to kill me, but I ain't dead. And I was talking about Empire Records and Young Dolph at the time.
That's crazy because the one I was listening to, Young Dolph was there. Like yeah. So Young Dolph comes through a lot. He comes through. You got to check her out.
Young Dolph ain't dead, but they had a hit on him. And if you Google Young Dolph, blood in my eye, and you will see he holding a triangle over his eye, and his eye is red. That means that he got the devil dead in his sights. He know exactly who doing the dirt. But they know how to read the signs. So they know what he's saying. So they coming. It ain't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So we got two options. Let him kill him or make him think they did. So what you think we gonna do?
Let them think they did.
Fuck them niggas. I want to get my hands on some of them niggas personally. Nipsey ain't dead. Nipsey in Eritrea. Aaliyah and Left Eye on Sabi Ranch. Biggie is in Jamaica. Tupac is on he's back and forth between Los Angeles and a native reservation in Arizona. Who else you want to know where they at?
I said, who else you want to know where they at?
I don't know where ODB at, but they had to get him out the picture, and DMX. Most likely they with Tupac, like Eazy-E. Eazy-E down there with Tupac too.
So what about the one guy? I can't remember his rap name, but there's a guy that they've been saying is Tupac, and
that's just that's a kill from hieroglyphics.
Okay.
That nigga don't look nothing like Tupac. If you believe that shit, you's a goddamn fool.
I didn't think so either, but somebody said that, and they're like, he rap like him. I'm like, no, he don't.
He don't even rap like Tupac.
He don't. I had ran across it. I can't remember. It was something on YouTube, and I ran across it, and they was trying to say that it was him or something.
Mm-hmm. One of Tupac boys that flipped signs for him is Casanova the Dime. So if you want to hear somebody, he sounds just like Pac. And some of them songs where he's supposed to be sounding like Pac is actually Tupac telling the
Mm-hmm.
story, right? But you could tell the difference then from Casanova sounding like Tupac and the Tupac songs that he did under the name of Casanova. That nigga was a smart motherfucker. I wish I was that smart.
You are very smart.
I don't think I'm fucking with Machiavelli though. Machiavelli, Malachi York, them was some smart motherfuckers. The guy doing Dave Chappelle won the Las Vegas Dave Chappelle lookalike contest. And when Dave Chappelle wouldn't come back from Africa, they set dude up. The same place where he be talking and that his Dave Chappelle mama be sitting in the balcony, that's where he won that lookalike contest at.
So since we talking about this Kanye West, because him and Dave, he talked on Dave a couple times or whatever. They took pictures together and stuff like that. Is that a clone, or is it really Kanye, or what's going on with that?
That's Kanye. Look, Kanye got a lot of ways like his mama, and that's what make him act like he act. But Kanye, he a solid dude. Motherfuckers don't understand what he doing, but he know exactly what he doing. You remember when he had that fucked up haircut and patches?
Mm-hmm.
That's because Tukey hair fell out from being froze.
Mm.
He was just walking around in LA like it was 30 below zero.
Mm-hmm.
That's because Tukey kept having chills. Once they thawed him out, he was having real bad chills, like he was still froze. And it took him a while. He still get cold flashes that shake him to the bone, but he almost passed that shit now. They had to sit him in the healing chamber to help him get past that. And when he first came out, when they first thawed him out, he was like the real super lean, but no fat on him because he burnt all the fat throwing out, and he was sore as hell, like he had the worst workout from hell. His body was sore from lactic acid buildup from them throwing him out. So it took him a minute to get past all of that shit from being froze. I love my people, but they ain't freezing me. Fuck y'all.
I know that's right.
I just gonna have to come back and try it again on the next go round. You not freezing me.
Period. So I
But
had questions about Erica Badu, but I have heard that she is heavily protected and things like that by our ancestors and stuff. So you
and she
will
a bad
listen.
motherfucker in her own right,
Mm-hmm.
right? But, she flipped me saying sometimes. At certain times, I'm gonna tell you somebody else everybody sleep on, and they keep saying she part of some bullshit she ain't, and that's the Queen Bee.
Oh, Beyonce. I,
Yeah.
I I question that. I'm listen, I'm Virgo. I question that a lot. At one point, it's like I kind of go like this with it because I just know the industry, and then again, it's like I can pick up some energy that is of us, but then so I don't know if they use certain like if she has doubles or things like that going on or
Mm-mm.
what.
This
So
this
maybe
how
you
you
clarify.
this how you know if they are from the system or if they want us. She got video of her practicing at 8 years old, all the way up. She got a video catalog of her practicing with her group. right? That means she was putting in the work to earn the position in the rank.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason she ended up with Jay-Z is because Jay-Z extracted her from under Mr. Knowles.
Right.
He was trying to trade her in a Masonic wedding to somebody she didn't want to be with.
Mm.
And when she met Jay-Z, they hit it off, and he knew what was going on from street connections. And he told her that you ain't gotta do nothing you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I want to stay here with you. He said, it's not a good time, but you can come back. That's when they did that first song together,
Okay.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, because he was with Aaliyah. Well, they were dating or whatever for a while, and then I remember seeing Beyonce
Aaliyah
come
was
back.
dating Dame Dash.
Yeah, but she used to date Jay-Z too.
Yeah, but that was like a flash in the pan, right?
Okay.
That's even if they really dated. Like Chris Brown, you ever see that pedal gate symbol with the shoe on it? His tattoo on his face?
I don't think I've seen it.
It's the pizza gate symbol, the triangle. Anyway,
No,
it
I
got
haven't
a
seen
shoe.
it.
It got a shoe hanging on it. They originally branded him. That's what the original tattoo was. He put the shoe on it the same reason we throw the shoe on the telephone line in the hood. Remember this nigga,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if somebody get life in prison or get murdered, we throw their shoes on the telephone lines,
Mm-hmm.
right? That was to remember all of the kids that he had to leave behind when um Little Miss Sunshine helped him escape. So the domestic violence situation with him and Rihanna was staged to get him from under the contracts, and they was trying to get him into some gay shit that he didn't want no parts of. He complained to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z sent Rihanna to get him out and told him what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They don't want a problem. If you notice, ever since that shit been over, he haven't been a problem. But he had to be a problem in order to make them turn their back on him so he can get away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the domestic violence was bringing too much attention to their sex trafficking ring, so they got rid of him. And that was the whole goal for Rihanna even messing with Chris Brown. They probably best of friends to this day because she got him out of a situation that they said she couldn't get him out of it. They
Yeah, it
said
makes sense.
they said she wasn't smart enough to figure it out, and that she didn't know nobody that could tell her what to do. Well, she got him out.
So
Now
you don't, so everybody, you don't feel like everybody, well, I'm not gonna put words in your mouth. Do you feel like everyone in the industry is like our enemy, like they're just working for the
no,
okay.
no. See, what it is for a long time we was blocked out of the industry because we know how to talk in the music, we know how to talk in a movie. The example is Robin Givens and Cicely Tyson was doing the movie. I think it was I forgot the name of the movie. It might have been Brewster's Place, but uh Robin Givens was telling Cicely Tyson that she just didn't want to be black. Now, this is where Cicely Tyson ad lib. She jumped up and she said, "My father was full-blooded Iroquois," and started giving real shit in a movie. It just looked like a good script, so they left it in there. But it told the people of the land that know who they are exactly who she was. She was an Iroquois high priestess, and she was using her roles in Hollywood to talk to her people. That's why she got that big lecture scene in that Tyler Perry's uh, uh, movie where everybody went home and she was standing on the porch talking to all of the youth.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't say nothing that wasn't true. That's the crazy part. It's a movie. But she didn't say nothing in that speech that wasn't true. Right? Tyler Perry's job was to build us a Hollywood without them involved in it. And it took him a long time. If you remember, the first play I think was called One Monkey Don't Stop No Show. And he took off after that. When he first went to them to try to produce his plays, they laughed him out of the office. Then he started doing them himself. Like, fuck it, I promote my own plays.
I remember that.
Yeah.
But you know how like how they say that them wearing the dresses is basically demasculating the man in a public
It
setting or
is.
whatever.
It is. Because one of the things that humiliate us is to put us in a dress or shoot us in the ass. Right? But the thing with Tyler Perry was when he started dressing up as Bud did, he couldn't find nobody to play the role. And he got such rave reviews, he just continued to do it.
Okay.
But Madea is a representation of Big Mama. It's also telling you that Big Mama throne been usurped by a man. The same thing with Martin Lawrence and Big Mama. Right? And I
Makes
remember,
sense.
after he dropped the Big Mamas, he was fucked up. They got him
Yeah.
running up and down motherfucking Sunset Boulevard, butt naked with a pistol.
Right. I do remember that.
They slipped him a Mickey. Right? Fucked him up. He ain't all the way back yet.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you believe Princess Diana is actually able to and I'm only asking this again because of a medium, able to reach out to our people in the spiritual realm to kind of give them some type of guidance on what's actually going on
Princess
with
Diana is called a white witch.
Okay.
She a bad motherfucker. She wasn't in that car.
She said that too.
MI5 was tasked with killing her. MI6 was tasked with protecting her. MI6 sent the decoy and took Diana out the back of the hotel because they knew the hit was on. So the lookalike don't even look like Diana. She just had a blind wig on, and they had her looking down when she was walking to the car, so they couldn't see her face. That's how they extracted her.
Okay. I'm just over here. All right. That's what's up. So if y'all don't have any more questions, I'm gonna let Rod have the rest of his evening, and I'm gonna end this live stream. I want to say thank you, Rod. Most definitely, you have. I know I kind of took it in a different realm, but that's only because I know who my listeners are. And I wanted them to be able to ask you questions that they might not necessarily hear the answers from on other platforms that you are able to speak on or that people bring you on. I wanted to kind of change it up a little bit and just us be us, but allow you to be you and allow them to
Well, we didn't really have a topic. We was just coming over here for some real talk with
Yeah, that's right.
So,
That's right. He asked me, he said, well, what do you want to talk about? I said, I really want to do a Q&A. Just, whatever they want to ask. And I'm asking some questions, and that's just what it is. So
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly, people are saying this was amazing. They're really excited about it. I'm showing you so much gratitude right now for even just blessing my platform and being here. I thank you for that.
Appreciate you. Make my eyes happy.
Before saying thank you so much, thank y'all for coming on with us and engaging with us, and asking questions and building, participating, things like that. We're gonna do some more of this. But definitely I wanted Rod to come on because this is my brother, my friend, a God. I just really respect him. And so I asked him and he's like, of course. So it was just, I don't know, I'm thankful.
Well, I'm always grateful to come in and talk to one of the sisters, especially one of the divine feminine. I ain't gotta argue with. I ain't gotta call you no colorful words or nothing.
Oh, this is what I got before ending this off. What is it that the men can do in our community amongst people that are us and that look like us, and as well as the goddesses? Well, the guys and the goddesses, what is it that they can do? What is it that we can do collectively to help with the movement of our people and going further?
The first thing y'all have to do is understand this shit is over with. Second thing that follows that is stop supporting the dead system. You sending your children to this fake education system, but this is where they stealing our babies from. They catching them on the way to and from school, and all of them don't hit the news. Most of them don't hit the news. If they don't got blonde hair and blue eyes, it's almost impossible for them to hit the news. But they taking our children going to and from school. They miseducating them in school on purpose. The curriculum is designed to dumb them down. So what we need to start doing in the community is take control of our children's education by formulating homeschooling groups first. Stop using the public system. Shut that bitch down for the mistreatment and the miseducation of the youth. That's the biggest deal right now besides the workforce, right? So I walked off my job because the shit was foul. It wasn't right. And they had us under those contracts, and I ain't with the bullshit, right? So when I seen the fix was in, I was out. But um, a lot of people scared to walk away from their jobs, but it's okay because the economy gonna collapse so bad you ain't gonna have no job to go to.
Mm-hmm.
The Pope calling in the money is watch that shit. Watch what the stock market is doing as they funneling money back to the Vatican in real time. Every day, trillions or billions of dollars a day is going back to the Vatican, right? The brothers need to be aware that there are people trying to take the women and harm them in order to keep this shit dragged out. They're trying to take the children for the same reason. The bloodletting rituals that they was trying to do has been greatly interrupted, but it hasn't came to a complete stop. They still have small pockets of adrenochrome shops that haven't been located yet because you can smell it in the atmosphere. Um, the other thing is the sisters. Ground your energy to the earth. Put your bare feet on Mother Earth, not the concrete, not the blacktop, the earth, the grass, the soil, um, the gravel, the sand, the water, ground out with the earth. And she gonna start telling y'all where y'all need to be. The more y'all do it, the more of y'all wake up. Every time a sister heal herself, she heal 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So keep focusing on your shadow work. The shit you don't like other people do, make sure you don't do that. Everybody that get on your nerves, use them for a mirror to make sure you're not doing the same shit that's annoying to you, to other people. That's the beginning of shadow work. Once you get that part down, the rest of it gonna go on autopilot, and you'll start cleaning up all of the shit that you was miseducated about yourself. Right? So keep the yoni sacred. Beware of those that's trying to desecrate the holy places by removing mammary glands and uteruses. And remember, most of these niggas talking about they woke, all they trying to do is be a pulpit pimp like the old preachers used to be. So I think that's about it. This shit about to come tumbling down.
It's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful time to be alive, y'all, in this realm anyway.
Yeah. And don't fall for the fear mongering. Ain't nothing to fear from here. They can't do nothing now worse than what's already been done.
Mm-hmm.
The shit they already did is worse than anything they could do from here forward.
So you heard it from the man. Wait, what you call yourself? Remember when we was talking about they was talking about GD or Gangster Disciples? What'd you call yourself?
Growth and development.
Yeah, it wasn't growth and development. You said you called yourself something. You have like some nickname.
I got a couple of them, but it might be the Sick Ape because that's my new Instagram is the Sick Ape. THESIK. Yeah, THESIKAPE.
Well, you heard it.
Sick Ape is an acronym. Soldiers in Illuminati are present everywhere.
Okay. Okay.
Outlaws in this bitch.
Period. Somebody dropped gorillas. All right. Well, y'all, we finna go. Have a great rest of the evening. Thank you, Rye. You know me and you, this ain't the end of us, but it's the end of this live. So it was great building with y'all, and everybody have a good evening, a good night, a good next day. I'm going to the farmers market tomorrow. Hopefully I find some seeded fruit.
Oh, when you brought up the fruit, the food shortage cause is the removal of GMOs from the market. All GMOs have to go. That's a direct order from the Queen of Heaven and Earth. That's what you see in the food shortage is coming. Okay. They getting rid of all of the GMO shit. That's why they had all of these slaughterhouses burning up, warehouses catching on fire and shit. Cows dropping dead. They're not dropping dead. The GMOs got to go. The GMOs is what's killing us internally, slowly. So that shit got to get off the market. So in the process, it's going to leave a vacuum in the available food supply. So get your seeds and plant you something next year. Yeah. But it might be too late for a lot of people because we only going to have like a 60-day drought at the most before we start ramping back under the new system.
Okay.
And learn family banking. I can't stress that enough. If you want to get your family inheritance, learn family banking and try to connect with at least one family member a week or a day that you never spoke to before, because y'all gonna need each other. When y'all trace back to a common matriarch, all of the ones that fall under that banner is gonna have to get along or don't get y'all shit. So y'all gonna have to figure that out between the family members. Y'all niggas gonna get along. Y'all gonna find some goddamn unity, or y'all gonna be the motherfucking poverty motherfuckers.
You heard him. You know I'm gonna get with you because I need more one-on-one about what you was talking about with these family banks. Because guess what? It's crazy you said that. because Jules been dropped to me that I'm gonna have a bank. So that's why I was just like, okay.
That's called a confirmation knock right there.
Exactly that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So all right, y'all. Well, we're gonna end this live stream. It was so much love. Thank you. Appreciate you. So much gratitude. Gratitude to Mother, our ancestors, and Rod Hayes for being here. So
Thanks,
peace,
Driyah.
y'all.
Appreciate you, sweetie.
Appreciate you. Peace. Peace,
All right.
y'all.